What up, team? Shinar here. Nah, I get that from my boyfriend. He'd be like, "It's Davon here." Nah, like really, it's me. Raw. Look at this. I got leftover mascara on my face. Sitting next to my sleeping baby. That's what I wanted to come on here about. I decided to document a little bit of my breastfeeding journey because out of all of the challenges that come along with pregnancy and being a new parent, that was like the biggest thing that was plaguing my mind my entire pregnancy was just being able to breastfeed and be there to supply like the natural nutrients that my child needs. So it's been a hell of a journey. I'll get into like why to begin with. Well, let's just start with the fact that I was pierced when I got pregnant. So that was one of the first questions I asked my doctor. I was like, so, do my nipple rings get in the way of like feeding my child? And he was like, well, it won't. It just, he said it wouldn't interrupt anything. He said it just, she would have a hard time latching. And I was like, ah. So it instantly became much more about the benefits of for her. And then you think about it like, oh, you don't want the ball to come out even if she could latch around the ring. Like, why would you want to do that to your baby's tender mouth? And so I got ready to like part ways with my nipple rings, which I did. I did one at a time. But I parted ways with my nipple rings, and then pretty much started like the healing process, because then I thought about it like, oh, you know, my piercings, because piercings take forever to heal in your nipples. So I'm like, oh, now we got to heal that up because I don't want any like infections happening. So that happened a few months before I gave birth. Long story short, I'm breastfeeding now. The journey has been insane. Getting her to latch was just second nature to her and myself. She struggles, she gets frustrated sometimes, and it like breaks my heart because I'm like, your food is right here, like calm down. But she's a little eater, and I produce the milk that's necessary. Sometimes I feel like I'm not producing enough. Lately, I've been feeling like pain in my breast. So with it being New Year, like the doctor's office has been closed the last couple of days. So I haven't even actually gotten like any type of A-OK, whether like this is normal or I need to get on some kind of medication. So I've stopped breastfeeding her. For 7 days, she was in, well, I don't want to get into that yet. But basically, we have been working on this breastfeeding for a long, like for the entire pregnancy, and that I'm talking too loud. Okay, so now I'm like, okay, I skipped a day. Like yesterday, I was like, I'm gonna take a break from like breastfeeding, from pumping, from everything. My breasts started hurting. They get engorged, which is it's a good thing because it means you have like the milk there. But like this boob is like super tender. This one produces way more than this one. This one causes me so many problems. This one be hurting more than the other one. Trying to produce milk, pumping anywhere from like 10 to 20 minutes, that stuff has you feeling like a slave heifer. When she feeds, if she doesn't latch properly, like it hurts the nipple. Like there's just so much that goes into breastfeeding, and you wonder why. There is so much breastfeeding help. Call the breastfeeding hotline. We got lactation consultants. There's lactation cookies. Like there is so much advice and so much education and so much help when it comes to breastfeeding for a reason. I've talked to lactation consultants, just spending time calming down, but I realized that even getting stressed when she's like struggling to latch on, like I get discouraged, I'll get stressed, like she'll start crying, and like that disengages the bond. Like there's like, it is such a psychological thing to do. So I'm gonna be breastfeeding for anywhere from 6 to 12 months. So I'm gonna take y'all on this journey with me. Sorry that I look so raw, real, and uncut, but this is a raw, real, and uncut thing. I feel more comfortable talking about the other part of my story. Not like you guys like know me or anything, but you know, as you're getting to know me, you'll know that I'm really private about a lot of things, super publicly private about a lot of other things. But yeah, aside from all of that, breastfeeding is amazing. It does have a ton of benefits, and that's really what kind of talked me into like, all right, let's do the breastfeeding for her. It's a lot more than just like, oh, it's your milk and it's nutritious. Like, it has so many benefits for her body and for me, for our bond, and that's like super important to me, for her growth, for my growth, my recovery, her immunity. Like, there's so much that goes into breastfeeding, so it's been taxing on me mentally, just wanting to get it right. So stay tuned. Hope this isn't like super boring for you guys. It's breast. Boobs are not boring.